Well, welcome everybody to Unbreakable Podcast. In the search of trying to find passionate people who actually like what they do, I have stumbled on Amber. So, to a light introduction, she represents to Stacy and I somebody who is passionate over time about what they do. And she has a unique business that I would like to present to everybody today. So welcome, Amber.
Thank you, Tom. I'm very excited to see what unfolds here today in the service of others. So I really appreciate the opportunity.
So as everybody listening, I'm always in pursuit of what's next available, one to me and to the clients that I serve. And what caught our eye about Amber is she. And I want you to describe your business.
Yeah.
This idea of scaling is always interesting, and you put it right out there. So I would like to know, tell us about your business first, and then we'll let it unfold.
Yeah, scaling is a big buzzword right now, isn't it? And so Tom is referring to a new system that I have developed called Leverage to Scale, which we'll get into. But my journey actually starts back in 2007 when I founded my business, which is NG Enterprises, and that stands for No Guts, No Glory. It's a phrase that my mom used to say to me all the time growing up, and I thought, what better message to remember every day as I have to step through fears and challenge to get my message out to the world and help others. And then what better message to impart to my clients so that they remember the same. And so that's a big cornerstone for me. Now, NG Enterprises is actually a website and online marketing agency. And so for the past 11 years, I've built more than 500 websites. And what I've found, Tom, is that my passion is probably less so in the actual technology, but my real passion is in helping other people get their message out to the world. Mm-hmm. And so I work with a lot of authors and speakers and coaches, and these people have such incredible stories, as you know, and they have all of these great ideas, but they get stuck on what to actually do with them. And it's a challenge for them, right? Because a lot of authors, speakers, and coaches would feel much more comfortable creating in a safe space as opposed to marketing and putting themselves out there. Mm-hmm. So understanding that personality trait, I've been able to take all of my knowledge about, conversion and marketing and all the fancy lingo and match it with this personality type to create something really meaningful for the author to help them get their message out in a much more comfortable and empowering way. And so really, it's been a website and marketing agency, and Leverage to Scale is a content marketing system that enables my audience to get their message out more efficiently and more effectively online. So
I want to go back to No Guts, No Glory. What would compel you to use that as a name? What caused you to use No Guts? Because I come from an environment where that is a lifestyle. So you risk everything all the time. Not that you're looking for glory, but the risk, which is the guts side of it. Yeah. What happened that caused you to use that as a name? Because that story could be pretty interesting, maybe.
Well, as I mentioned, my mom used to say it all the time growing up, and I was raised by a single mom, and I idolized her. She was amazing. She worked so hard. And she gave my older sister and I everything. We went to a top private high school. We got to travel the world, and we never were spoiled or took it for granted. But I knew it always came from this place in her of, I'm going to take chances. I'm going to make bold choices. I'm going to do what it takes to get where I want to go and be the kind of mother that I want to be. Mm-hmm. So that was just pretty natural in me. Although there was a period of time, about 5 years in my teenage era, where I very much lost my way. And I became this very negative, depressed, lost, dark person that I really didn't even, I couldn't even recognize myself at one point, mm-hmm. which kind of pivoted to the turning point. And so as I came out of that and then started this business, I thought, what what name? I don't want to just be ABC Company. You know, I want it to be something meaningful. And I just remembered back to my mom saying that to me. And I thought, that's it. I need to remember this every single day. And having guts, taking risk, moving through your fears, that really is a lifestyle. It's a daily choice, moment by moment. And I am constantly trying to do the things that I'm afraid of so that I don't have to feel afraid of them anymore. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the only way that I'm going to really live my full potential and then be the leader for others to do the same.
What got you into marketing? How did all that gut stuff get you into marketing?
It felt a little divine, I'm not going to lie, because growing up, I worked in restaurants. You know, I was bussing tables and serving. And by the time I went into college, I was going to the University of Arizona in Tucson, and I needed some part-time job. And all of a sudden, I looked in the newspaper, and there was a little ad for vector marketing. And this was so unlike me. This is why I say it was divine. I picked up the phone and called. I got an interview. And I went in, and it was it kind of took me off guard because I was shy and unsure of myself. And it was this group interview, and they brought out knives, and it was a knife demonstration for Cutco cutlery. So I don't know if your listeners know Cutco. They're a huge global brand now. Mm-hmm. And so it was this job for me to go and push Cutco cutlery to my friends and family and get referrals. And I did it. I ended up going through the training, very unlike me. And something about that job changed my whole life, Tom. It was like all I did was what they told me to do. I followed the presentation. I got paid regardless of whether or not I made sales. And it was a safe environment full of positivity. And it worked. And I was one of the top sales reps in my training class. I finished number 2 in my office that summer. I was promoted to management, and that's when it got really exciting because I started learning about marketing and business and management and recruiting and conversion. And oh man, something in me just woke up for the first time in my whole life. And I was excited, and I wanted to keep beating my records. And then I wanted to beat region records and then national records. And I just, it kind of started from there. I was in that organization 5 years when I kind of stopped feeling challenged. And then I leapt off and, into the unknown. And that's scary to do. But at this point, I had had enough life experience where I believe that saying, leap and the net will appear. And so I took the big leap. I found myself next in an internet marketing conference, all new to me. I didn't even know what a blog was back then. This was about 2006. And I was fascinated. These people were making millions of dollars online with sales pages and social media. And I thought, what the heck is this world? This is exciting. And so I set up my own little blog. I taught myself how to build websites from scratch. And then I thought, I could do this for other people. And so I did. And I created NGNG, started offering website services. And then the more that I learned about marketing and applied it, tested it, proved that it worked, that's when I would open it up as a service and then just growing and building from there.
And I mentioned that, and I ask you specific questions about my business so that you don't have to charge me. Yeah. And the reason why I'm going to just put it out is so that people, the thousands of people that listen, the idea of this is that they come to you, that maybe an answer here, that a question that I have and an answer that you give will help you. And so I'm going to ask a question about my business.
Okay.
Having screwed it up 1,000 times, so having gotten marketing people in to look at what we do and then pay all the money that we paid, how do we leverage our brand into the space that we're currently trying to play in to a measurable outcome? I'm always about measurable outcome. So another way of asking that, how do we use your business model to help our business? I know that haven't seen all the details of what our business is.
Yes.
How would I bring you in?
That's a big question. And it's a great question, right? And every business is going to be different. So everybody starts at a different place. I have people coming to me, Thom, who just left corporate world and they have this instinct for an idea and they're scared and they don't know what to do, but they heard that they could make money online. So they come to me and say, now what do I do? Everybody needs a website. Right? That's the hub and heart of everything else that you do. And then after that, I believe that the focus shifts to having a marketing system, something that is going to attract in the right kind of people into your organization. So qualified leads coming in, which is actually kind of a keyword, because that's not what a lot of people are teaching. A lot of other people are saying, well, how do we get the biggest following possible? Well, I would rather have a quality following that I know is the right people I want in my organization, as opposed to attracting in just everybody, right? So that's actually a mindset shift that really needs to be made in the marketing space. So we need to have this marketing system in place that's attracting in the qualified buyers back into the website. Then we need to have a sales system in place that is taking these qualified buyers, telling them exactly what we do, who we do it for, how we do it, and what we want people to do next. And how we handle that is also something that's really key, because it's not an approach that most people are taking. Most people just slap up offers and they have so much content and they just throw it out there. But a website visitor comes in and they don't really know what's going on. They get a sense of who you are, what you do, but they don't know what to do next because there's so many options. And I'm going to bookmark.
Yeah, that's where we are right now. Having done it 4 times. 4 times I've hired marketing people, it may sound frustrating, but knowing that I don't know anything about it, we went and hired great marketing companies.
Sure.
And the website's on its 4th edition, and I think it's vomit. I do. I'm like, God, there's got to be a better method. And I'm sure there's other people that are feeling this way, like they want to start a business or they want to scale a business or do something new. And the frustration is there are so many options out there. And the reason why I'm asking you is because you have solved it.
Yes.
In our mind, you've solved it. And it's easy to solve it once. If you can do it twice, it's cool. If you can do it a 3rd time, it's probably relevant. And I want people to be able to hear from you how that's done.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm ready to get into the nitty-gritty details.
Yeah.
And I am getting there. So if we have a website, we have this marketing system, we have a sales system that really clearly helps your people coming in. They get clear on what you do and what you want them to do next. This is, call it a customer journey, right? And if I may, I'll give an example. So on my personal website, you go to ngngeenterprises.com. There's all kinds of stuff going on, right? I've got a blog with hundreds and hundreds of posts. I've got opt-in offers all over the place. You could go to my social media. There's testimonials, portfolios, service pages. There's all kinds of stuff going on. But what I had to do is get very clear on what I want people to do if I had a choice. So Thom would come in and I would want him to do one thing. And the only thing I want him to do is I want him to watch my homepage video. Because on that homepage video, he will be very clear on what I do and how I do it. He will be very clear on what I want him to do next. And now he's focused on me. So instead of, making assumptions or scanning text and I'm sort of distracted, not really paying attention, he's actually taking a minute of time to focus on what I'm saying, which will create a deeper emotional connection between me and Thom. And if Thom looks at me and he thinks, I don't really like that girl, she's too smiley and too happy and positive, then you'll leave, right? But if you think, wow, she seems nice and energetic.
I believe in self-selection.
Totally. Love it.
I don't want everybody. I want this to happen quicker.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this video does that. The next thing I want you to do is go to my website page and watch that video so you understand the process for building a website. And if you get to that point, the last thing I want you to do is download my service menu, which tells you all of our pricing and payment plans in full transparency. Now, the simple 3 steps drastically changed my results, Tom. I went from a 25% conversion rate, and I would have these hour-long phone calls with prospects, and it would be a mixed audience, and some people would be a fit and most wouldn't. So that was the before. And after getting clear on my journey and implementing video into this type of a system, I went to an 85% close, and I pretty much only talk to people who are a really strong fit for my personality and the type of client that I want to work with. So I think that in terms of a website, it's less about having the most brilliant $50,000 design. It's just going back to the basics. It's honestly pretty simple. It's what's the journey, what's the process, how do I get people very clear, and how do I build that relationship? And you're going to do that through video. So that's one example that I can give you about using that website to be more effective for you. But if this were my advice to somebody just coming in, hey, friend, you need a website, marketing system, and sales system, then my work is really about either helping them develop that website, or maybe I'm just giving strategic coaching advice on how to do these systems based on who you are, what your strengths and goals are. I mean, it really is going to be different for everybody. And if you meet somebody who has a cookie cutter approach, then, kind of shame on them, because everybody is so different. So how can you have a, solution in a box for everybody? It just doesn't make sense. And last, I was just going to say, Tom, that for a business like yours, much more developed than the average person, even if you're unsatisfied with aspects of your business, you're still, most people are probably looking at you as the dream, right? You've got this amazing podcast.
Don't look at me as the model. Yeah.
But what I love about your model, Tom, is that it is rooted in total transparency, authenticity. You're about the relationships, the people, and you're in service. You are giving all the time, you and Stacy. It's amazing on your podcast, right? And that is what helps somebody scale. I think, yes, having systems and being efficient and having the right customer journey absolutely plays into it. But if you don't have that at the core, what you and Stacy have at the core, then I think it becomes significantly harder to get where you want to go.
And interesting in the fact that so describe scaling. And I don't mean to be weird about that, because scaling in the business setting that I work in means creating a dynamic within the company. It's not about growth. It's about positioning it in the next 2 years to sell. I don't think that's how you use scaling.
True. Yeah. So I believe my mission with Leverage to Scale is more about how do we leverage relationships and human connection to grow our business. But you're right. It's not, you can't just say growth. It's a little bit beyond that, because it's almost something that's more systematized and automated to a degree. Now, automation is a big buzzword happening in the online marketing space right now. And it was a good idea in theory, because if I automate, then I can impact more people in less time. But the problem is the way that they were teaching automation extracted out human connection. And
that's what we found. I don't mean to interrupt you, but we got sucked into that quagmire. Automate it so that you instead of it taking you 4 hours to do something, it takes 2 minutes, and then 1 million people can look at it. It took the connection away. And I'm like, dang. So not that I really want to be connected to 5 billion people, because I think to me it's very difficult because when I train people, it's very emotionally connecting, and there's a drain of energy involved in that. Yeah. So from my vantage point, it made sense, and we got sold into that system of do it once and then it's going to be automated. And it didn't work that way because people actually, I think, require the connectivity of somebody else.
Everybody bought into
Yeah.
it, Tom.
Yeah, yeah.
Wasn't just you.
We paid a lot to buy into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I know. It's crazy. And so what's really crushing me is I watch business owners, these amazing people with these heartfelt, amazing messages of impact, and they are so frustrated and drained right now because they keep spending money, buying into things that, and at the end of the day, they feel like it's not working.
Yep.
And they're frustrated. And it's not like they're at the point of giving up, right? Because they still have this belief in their message and they are making an impact, but we are being improperly conditioned as to what we should be expecting here. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, this idea of automation stripped out that human connection. We now know that that can't happen, right? Mm-hmm. So my whole belief system and message here, Tom, is that if you want to create human connection in a digital world, there's really one way to do that, and that's through video. Mm-hmm. Now, video is not just the future, it's here now, right? We're talking on video for those of you who have the luxury of watching this as opposed to just listening. And it's video that's really making the difference, which is why now it's becoming the new it thing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's just funny watching trends, right? But, you know, I track video success back to the early years in my business where I could use video, one example, operationally. A lot of people might be thinking about using video for marketing or sales, but they're not even thinking about how they could use this for operations in their own business. And so I love this. So I would launch a website and I would build in time at the end to do support calls with people, training them on the phone how to make changes to their website. Mm-hmm. And it would be the most ridiculous thing you've ever experienced because I'd say, okay, so Emily, do you see on this?
Yeah.
You know, this was before video conferencing was hot. And by the end of this hour-long call, she would forget what I taught her. We'd have to have another call. It was horribly inefficient.
Right.
I have a habit of saying to myself throughout milestones of my life, and I think there has to be a better way. So it's funny that you said that earlier. And I thought there has to be a better way. So what I did was I created a series of training videos teaching website clients how to manage their website. And after that, I never had another support call. But the thing is, what's interesting to me, Tom, is that I thought people might feel gypped. Like, you're just giving me these training videos. I want Amber's time. But what happened instead was they were grateful. They still got the feel that Amber was there training them, but they could watch the videos Tuesday at midnight if they wanted to. They could give the videos to a team member and have them learn and manage the website. And I couldn't even count how many thousands of hours it saved me or my team. And I just created these videos, move on to something else. I've used videos for hiring, for training my team, so many ways. Just this morning before our call here today, Tom, I created a 10-minute video for a client just checking in, did it on this platform called Loom. I don't know if you've heard of it. Love Loom. Just recorded a quick little video checking in, telling him how much I appreciated him and what we should talk about next. Send it over to him. And my clients love that because they get doses of Amber, human connection. And man, if you want to know how to scale, video is a very fast way to communicate. It's faster than email, makes a stronger connection, and people will share word of mouth about you like you would not believe if you start implementing human connection more in your organization.
I agree with that. Yeah, and we were talking offline about the difference in, not that our businesses are comparable, but the human capital of our businesses is people require the human connection. Every business that I work in, that's the lost commodity that they were looking for money, so they took the human person, the human being out of the business, and then it gets very stale very quickly, and then they can't figure out why people are leaving, and they can't get people to come. Big businesses, little businesses, all the same problem. And what we do is solve the human problem, and the culture. The other buzzword in the industry is culture. Create a culture first, and then a product line. It's not the other way around. Create a culture.
100%.
Or the leadership has to model what they want in their business, which is the other aspect about that I've seen is that's very rare. Leadership doesn't model. They don't live the life, so it's hard for anybody coming in, especially the millennials want to be led. Even though they don't think they want to be guided and led. But there's no model. Like, I don't want to be that guy. I want the money, but I don't want to be that guy. He's never around. He's aloof, or she's mean, or whatever. When leaders start modeling again, then it churns it so quickly. And then the leaders actually like to go to work, which is another phenomenon. So how would we collectively, and the people listening, and I'm getting some questions that people are texting me. How do you represent, or would you show somebody how to market their video cast or podcast?
Oh, great question. Yeah, so video, like I said, is not the future, it's now. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. Content is the backbone of the internet, right? The more content you publish online, the more valuable Google and YouTube and Facebook become. Mm-hmm. Now, these are massive organizations. They want to be more valuable. So what's going to happen is they will reward people who produce content, especially regular, consistent content, right? Those who don't do it, you're not going to get rewarded. Why do you think that Facebook is just going to show you your post to your following? No, they're not going to do that. So you have to get involved. Now, this is where things get tricky because business owners don't know what to do. They don't want to do it. They don't have the time to do it. Mm-hmm. Frustrated by technology. So business owners have all of these issues propping up. But the harsh reality is that if you want to be successful online, you have to find a way to publish content consistentely. Mm-hmm. So I've known this.
What's the periodicity?
I have personally tested a lot of different things. And if you even just do once a week, mm-hmm. Obviously the more you do anything, Tom, the more success you'll have with it, right? Just mm-hmm. no different than working out in the gym, right? Right. But for the average business owner out there, keeping in mind everything else that you have to do, I think as long as you do a once a week video, once a week blog post, you're on social media probably daily. Mm-hmm. I personally am not on the weekends, but that's a personal choice that I've made. But mm-hmm. Monday through Friday, every day, I send an email to my email list once a week because they need to get that. They need to be conditioned, right? Mm-hmm. To get that experience from me once a week. But I think if somebody has the opportunity to do it more than that, then they're just going to grow that much more quickly and get rewarded that much faster.
What's the reward?
More exposure. So what's going to happen inside of Google, if you publish a weekly blog post, Google says, thank you for making me more valuable. I'm going to move you up higher in the search engine ranking so that people will find you. Facebook, alternatively, will say, thank you for making me more valuable. I'm going to show more people your posts mm-hmm. to reward you for contributing to my value, right?
That was the most frustrating thing on Facebook is we grew initially until we grew to a certain level. Everybody that were in our friends list saw all of our posts. Then we grew a little too big maybe, and then fewer people see the post. And then I've talked to experts like you. That's how Google or Facebook plays the game. They want you to do more. I'm like, they've already friended me. They should be able to see everything I publish. Like, nope, Facebook giveth and taketh away at the same time. I'm like, oh, that was so frustrating to see that.
Yeah, I mean, they do have to keep us on our toes, yep. right? I've noticed that over the past, almost 15 years. But still, steadily, consistently, it is really predictable. The more you just yep. stick to your guns and stay in your lane and just keep focusing on what they want, the more you'll get what you want.
Right, right.
So knowing all of this, it was about 3-4 years ago, Tom, and I was, I'd spend an hour or two crafting a blog post, and then I'd switch gears and I'd spend 2 or 3 hours crafting this really robust newsletter, and then I think, gosh, what's something creative I can say on social media? And it just felt like my attention was pulled, like I was spinning my wheels.
Mm-hmm.
So this was another milestone moment where I thought there has to be a better way. So what I did is that Saturday, I sat down, I had about 3.5 hours available, and I turned on my video camera and I recorded 25 short little tip videos. We're talking 4 minutes each, let's say. And it actually was kind of a fun game because I thought, how many can I do in this period of time? And I would just, hit record, say this tip, and record. I'd go change my shirt, come back, hit record.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was a maniac, but it was really fun. At the end, I had this batch of tip videos. And then I got this idea, what if I send these videos to my team, my assistant, Jill, and I'd said, Jill, I want you to do keyword research so that you understand the best way to title my videos to get me more exposure. I want you to upload them to YouTube and optimize them. I want you to craft a blog post that just has a summary of what this video is about and invites people to watch it. And then here is what I want you to do to optimize that blog post for better results in Google. Here's kind of a structure for how I want you to start doing my social media. I want you to post 3 times a day on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram, and 5 times a day on Twitter. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I have found to be a really solid approach to social media. And we have about 10 different post types, Tom. So anything from a fill in the blank to asking a question, sharing my video, sharing a service offering, sharing a related article that somebody else wrote, so I have this variety to keep things interesting for my followers. And then I said, I want you to take that blog post and send it as our weekly email. And I'm not doing those crazy robust newsletters anymore. Mm-hmm. And I said, here are 25 videos. Do this every week for the next 25 weeks. We'll publish 1 video, 1 blog post, 1 email to the list, and all the social media. Go. And I swear I could have had a celebration in my office. It felt so good to not have to worry about any of that for 25 weeks. Mm-hmm. So Jill goes out and she starts implementing exactly what I taught her. She loved it because she had structure. She had a process to follow every week. And then that engaged her to see how she could get better results by implementing different details. And we watched week after week, like compound interest. It just grew and grew even bigger and grew even bigger. And by the end of about the 25-week mark, I thought, well, shoot, this is really exciting. So I recorded another batch of 30 videos that got us through the rest of the year. And at the end of that year, Tom, I had so many qualified buyers coming into my website and through the customer journey that I explained to you earlier, that I stopped content marketing for 2 years. 2 years. Because I was at capacity. It grew like crazy because I also have great word of mouth. I have strategic partners, big companies that send us website clients on a regular basis. And I just thought, I need to slow this down a little bit. But that is the power of A, content marketing, and B, doing like a short little tip video and repurposing that to get the rest of it done for you so you don't have to worry about it.
And this is what you provide as a service other than just the word guidance?
Correct. So Leverage to Scale is a training platform that I developed early in 2018. And it's a way for business owners to log in and they see the step-by-step checklists and procedures on how to do every detail of this process. And they can get it all done in less than 2 hours a week. Everything I just described, because we were able to get it so dialed in and so refined and so efficient that I wasn't spending 10 hours a week on content marketing anymore. Now it was 2. So this training platform trains the business owner how to do the same thing that we do, or even better, most business owners are giving their team login access. So their virtual assistant goes through the training and just does it for them. That's what probably 90% of our members do. The other 10% either doesn't have a team, they're not ready for a team, or they just love doing it themselves. But the platform is really designed more as an implementation tool to delegate to your team so you're not doing it, because you have way more important things to do than that.
So do you provide that service as well? Or
Currently,
just train people too?
I did for the 2 years
Mm-hmm.
between the time I started and now, and I was charging about $1,200 a month for
Mm-hmm.
it, and we were getting great results. But honestly, something happened, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
In the past year, I have really looked at what's happening in the online world, and we're in the midst of kind of a storm right
Mm-hmm.
now in the marketing space. And there's so many things contributing to that, but a couple of the top ones. Number one, massive corporations are, as we know, struggling to advertise and convert using TV and print and
Mm-hmm.
radio. So they're spending their humongous advertising budgets pushing content online because they know content is the backbone of the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this huge influx of content and competition, in addition to so many other people are looking at this opportunity to make all this money online. So they're bailing from their corporate jobs or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, stay-at-home moms, everybody's trying to build a business online. Competition has never been greater.
Mm-hmm.
Then add to that a platform like Facebook advertising that was all the rage until this year.
Mm-hmm.
It started around summertime. That platform is a house of cards that is falling, and
Mm-hmm.
people are losing tens of thousands of dollars online. These are just a few things that are contributing to this kind of crisis that's happening online. Now, I've been watching this for the past, couple of years, and the people, these business owners, come to me and they're crying because their ideas are being silenced, their
Mm-hmm.
businesses are closing, they're having to go get a job because they couldn't make it work online. And I'm a sensitive soul. I really am. As much as I have the guts and the grit and everything
Mm-hmm.
else, I'm sensitive. And I thought it makes no sense for me to just, charge a few clients $1,000 a month.
Can't scale service.
How do I? This became beyond me even.
Yeah.
But yes, how can I impact more people and give the business owner the control back? Because it didn't feel right to me, even though I was making money off of it and it was great. It didn't feel right knowing that the business owner could get the same service done, same quality for probably $200 a month if I could just give their team the training.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how Leverage to Scale was born. It's a training program only. I stopped doing the service because it's my way of giving back. I have, achieved so much at such a young age, and I'm grateful. And this is my way of helping more of the right people get their messages out and create bigger impact in the world. So it might sound a little, cheesy or whatever, but honestly, it's such a deep passion. I could cry about it. Like, I have to get this out there.
Yeah, I like it. The reason why I was asking is because a couple of people just texted me, is that the service that you provide? And before I even listened to your answer, I'm like, hey, you can't scale service. I doubt if that's what she's doing. And I teaching people is wonderful.
Yeah.
It's the only way to actually perpetuate things.
Totally. And inside of Leverage to Scale, when a business owner becomes a member, we do already have a community of virtual assistants who are certified and trained that are available to take on new clients. So we could do a matchmaking that way. And also, the top VA agency in the country, Priority VA, is a partner of ours. They are the only certified vendor allowed to fulfill this as a service for members. And so they are charging $750 a month, and they will do the service. It's just that Amber wants to spend time impacting more business owners by facilitating this training,
right.
The opportunity.
So, taking a step to the side, tell me something that you have learned in this journey about people, about yourself, maybe. It's fun to be on a journey because I've done a lot of incredible things in my life. What I learned from them was probably more important than what I did.
Oh, for sure. And I'm one of those people that's honestly learning constantly. I learn every day, but I think that also comes from pushing myself every day. It's funny, we look at others and we compare and we think, oh, they have it so great and they just must know something I don't know. But what I am constantly sharing with people is that I am scared every single day. There really is. There's something, I put myself in some situation every single day, challenging myself, pushing myself to be more innovative or creative or thoughtful or mindful or grateful or
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't say exactly when that was activated, but that was an important thing. And I feel like, oh gosh, Thom, there's so many things rushing to my mind about what I've learned.
What'd you learn about people? Is there a point of something that you were surprised to find out about the human capital or about people?
Well, I'm a believer that people are really good to the core. And that's something that I feel like our society is forgetting. You know, on social media, people are so quick to make judgments and criticize and belittle people. And it's so sad to me that honestly, like I find myself being repelled from social media because I just think it's so ridiculous. And at the end of the day, I feel like we really are doing the best that we can. And people at the end of the day, they just want to be heard and seen and loved and valued. So for me, you know, I continue to remind myself that people are good. People just need to know that they're heard, loved, and seen. And so I just keep showing up in that way. That's why I did that video for Gary. But I feel like, you know, people are always, they are trying. And if we remember that, however that idea fits into your business, whatever your life is or what you're doing, remembering that shifts things. It shifts how you show up in a relationship, right? So whether you're a salesperson, you're a marketer, you're an assistant, you're a president, if you remember that people are good and have good intentions at the end of the day, and if you can hold on to that, even when the rest of the world is trying to show you something different, if you hold on to that, it will shift how you are projected to the world, which will shift how people present themselves to you. And then all of a sudden your reality becomes something so much more fulfilling.
I agree with that. It's interesting. What, where do you like to hike in the mountains around Denver?
I've done anything from 14ers to just normal hiking trails, but one of my favorite things to do, even though it's not filled with activity, I love taking my little 2-year-old son on the side of the road, any road where there's the river, and we sit there and we'll throw rocks in the river and we'll giggle. And I like finding a space that's like you feel like you're surrounded by the mountains, and just that moment of breathing in that fresh air and looking up at the trees and the mountains. It's one of my favorite things on earth because it reminds me that there is magnificence all around me. My problems are small in the grand scheme of things. It helps me to stay present and focused, and it kind of recalibrates me. And so we try to get out into the mountains as much as possible. Love it.
Do you ever go? What's that incline or that climb that's right outside of Colorado Springs?
Oh, the summit?
No, it's not. It's a bunch of steps.
Oh, yes.
I can't remember the name. I know you can't go up it with a 2-year-old, but
I did with my father, and he and I are afraid of heights. And these stairs, it's like a stair climb. It's 7 falls. 7, we'll remember it hopefully. But it's a stair climb, but the staircase is like really rickety and shaky, and there are other people walking up it, and you can see through each of the steps.
Yeah.
And my father and I kid you not, we were sweating and freaking out. It was like, and this is what I mean, we push ourselves beyond where we want to go, and it scared us so badly. But we got to the top. It was harder going down, I think, than up. But it was a wonderful bonding experience for both of us. And it was just another one of those meaningful, moments of going through something challenging together, and the laughter we shared afterward. It was, good experience.
A couple questions just came up through text. How do people get a hold of you?
If you Google me, you'll find me all over the place, Amber Vilhauer. But I would say the primary website is ngrenterprises.com.
Okay.
My YouTube channel is a place that people really love because those tip videos are not just fluffy advice. It's like deep, detailed, step-by-step how to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And people can get significant marketing training for free just by going to my YouTube channel. And then leverage2scale.com would be the website. There's a video on there that people can get access to that actually shows them a demo of the system and reminds them of the content marketing plan and all of that. So I am very approachable. Anybody can reach out to me. I respond to all of my emails personally. I think it's important to take that time. So if you have questions or want to pick my brain, I'm here for you. Absolutely.
Do you engage on social media at all, like Facebook?
I do. Yeah.
And what's the Facebook page? If you said it, I totally didn't hear it, so it's possible.
That's okay. It's you just find me at ngngeenterprises.com. And so absolutely you can go to that page to connect with me. I also have my personal profile on there for Amber Vilhauer. So
Okay. Yeah, and I always forget to ask that question. I'm glad I was reminded of but I'm going to reach out after this and engage you because I want to not pick your brain. I want to use your brain. So I don't know if that's possible, but yeah. So
you can. Yes. Well, thank you.
Excuse me.
I don't take that lightly. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yeah. And I want to thank you for helping us on our journey, since you like that word.
I do.
And I like the idea of creating a new way to do business. Because I get very bored very quickly with things, and so I'm very interested to pick your brain and to figure out how to use your buzzword, to leverage to scale. I want a big long lever, so I don't have to put as much energy into it, and I want it to turn.
Fantastic. Yep. I mean, what's interesting too is this year I've worked maybe half as many hours as the previous year, and we were this shy of our best year ever in sales. So I feel like, yes, there's a lot that sort of clicked into place for me, a lot of these systems and leveraging, repurposing, and remembering that human connection. A lot of these ideas clicked into place into a model that is working not just for me, but a lot of people in my community that I've been sharing these ideas with. And now it's really exciting to see what can we all do collectively with this information to not just weather this storm, the online crisis or whatever, but, help more people as well. So I'm happy to dialogue about this anytime. I think it's really fascinating stuff.
Yeah. And thank you. Really. Thank you for taking the time today, and more to follow.
Yeah. Thanks, Thom.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. And as I always try to end, be bold, be brave, and be unbreakable. And Stacy and I love you all. Thank you so much.